Did you know that an entire family was massacred in the Spencer mansion? Setting the scene for the entire story of the first Resident Evil, the Spencer mansion harbors many secrets and mysteries that send shivers down the spines of even the most enthusiastic fans. If you're a fan of the franchise, I'm sure you know every corner of the house. But, do you know all the stories hidden behind the mansion's walls? It's precisely one of those stories that I'm going to tell you about in this video. Welcome, it's a pleasure to have you here. If you think you already know all the macabre stories of Resident Evil, stick around here, watch the video until the end, because today I'm going to tell you one of the most bizarre and frightening stories in the entire franchise. The massacre of the Trevor family. Maybe you already know that the Spencer Mansion is named after Ozwell Spencer, one of the founders and the main mind behind Umbrella Corp. If you didn't know, stay tuned, because soon I'll bring a video here on the channel telling you all the details behind the company's foundation, from its inception to the secrets behind the terrible objectives it hid. Well, Spencer had always wanted to create a way to evolve the human race since he was very young. In his madness, he believed it was necessary to develop a way to select the strongest humans, and he, as a kind of creator, would be a god who ruled over all. He then decided that using a virus would be the easiest way to achieve this, and that's where the mansion comes in. Spencer had recently discovered the progenitor virus and needed a place to conduct research. The mansion secretly housed a laboratory, created exclusively for the study and development of the virus. The house was so large that it took about 5 years to build and occupied a large part of the Arkley Mountains, right on the outskirts of Raccoon City. That was a summary of the summary, just for you to understand the importance the house has in today's video. Now, think about it with me. A house of this magnitude, full of secrets, many secret passages, and mysterious places, needed to be meticulously designed, don't you agree? That's where the main character of our video comes in, George Trevor. George was a renowned New York architect, and for such an ambitious project like the mansions, there was no one better. He was personally chosen by Spencer, and during the long 5 years of building the house, George was heavily involved with the project. After all, he was responsible for the creation and supervision of the construction. Creating the entire planning of the place was the work he was most proud of. The problem with this is that, besides Spencer, only George knew the secrets hidden behind every corner of the house. I think you can already imagine what happened next, right? With so much at stake, so many secrets, Spencer couldn't let anyone other than himself know all the details that were built into the house. It was too risky. His plans couldn't leave any loose ends. So, he devised a plan, a trap to eliminate George, and thus he would be the only one to know the secrets hidden in the mansion. Spencer then organizes a dinner to celebrate the inauguration of the house and invites the entire Trevor family to the party. George, his wife Jessica, and their daughter Lisa, who was only 14 years old. Unfortunately, they didn't know they were heading for the greatest terror of their lives. Due to professional reasons with his work, George couldn't go to the house on the agreed day. He would only arrive a few days later. But he sends his family as a gesture of politeness. He didn't want to seem rude to the man who provided the greatest job of his life. He arrives 3 days later, on November 13th, 1967, and to his surprise, he doesn't find his wife and daughter. According to Spencer, they loved the house, especially Lisa, who was delighted with his kindness in allowing her to use the piano to play her favorite music, Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. But the two had to leave before George arrived to visit an aunt who was ill. At least that's what Spencer told him. The truth, guys, is that the two were captured by Spencer. And here's a curiosity that not everyone knows. They were imprisoned in the mansion's laboratory and became the first human test subjects of the progenitor virus. Although finding it strange that his family had left, George Trevor remained in the house hoping to join his wife and daughter soon. 5 days after his arrival, he began to suspect that something was wrong. The phone wasn't installed, and strange men always prevented him from walking freely around the house. The feeling of being watched was constant. While George was distressed about what might be happening, the truth was even worse than he could imagine. His family was already in the hands of Spencer's scientists, imprisoned and undergoing numerous tests with the progenitor virus. His wife, Jessica, didn't show good results in the experiments. A file found in the game shows letters she wrote to her daughter during her days of confinement. She felt she needed to do this because, as the virus doses were injected into her body, her memories faded away. She didn't survive the experiments and died within a few days. Meanwhile, Lisa, only 14 years old, proved to be a promising subject. Somehow she managed to resist the terrible effects of the progenitor. But she underwent several mutations throughout the experiments. She developed resistance, became stronger, but also became very aggressive. Accidents would happen, and she would kill some scientists, tearing off their faces and putting them on hers as a kind of mask. Were traces of her consciousness still there, and did she just want to hide? We'll never know. Lisa was definitely no longer the 14-year-old girl. she had turned into a true monster. Just so you have an idea, not even Spencer's best scientists could understand how Lisa managed to resist the virus effects. But, unlike what you might be thinking, this didn't help her. Because of this, Lisa remained imprisoned in the laboratory and was subjected to experiments for many years. In fact, I don't know if you know, she even received the same parasite responsible for the development of Nemesis, the NE-alpha, and completely absorbed it. In addition to receiving the T virus and giving rise to the G virus, which was later discovered and perfected by Dr. William Birkin. And 31 years later, Lisa, who had once been that 14-year-old girl, continues to roam the outskirts of Spencer Mansion during the events of Resident Evil 1. You must be wondering where George is, right? So here we go. 8 days after his arrival, he decides he's going to leave. He needed to find his family, and then someone grabs his luggage and takes him to a large, windowless room on the first floor of the mansion, a room that would be reserved for guests. Suddenly, he receives a blow to the head and falls unconscious. Now everything made sense to him. Days passed, he tried to escape several times. He met some of the creatures developed there until the day he found a grave with his own name. It was there that he knew he would never escape. Spencer had thought of everything from the beginning. On December 7th, 1967, with trembling hands, George Trevor lit his last match in front of his grave. The truth is that he died without even knowing what happened to his wife and daughter. Perhaps it was better that way. Well guys, that was one of the many stories behind the events involving the Resident Evil franchise. But for me, it might be the saddest and most frightening of all. Tell me in the comments if you want me to bring more videos like this to the channel. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'll be very happy if you subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot with my work here on YouTube. It's a way for you to tell me that you like the content I bring here. So please leave a like, comment on what you thought of the video, and see you soon. I'll leave it here. Thank you very much, and until the next video. See you.